Hi, I'm Shay,
And I'm Jalen.
and this is Shay's Scare Lounge. And I thought I would wear the bracelet, but a necklace, but it's not working out. So never mind. And this is Shay's Scare Lounge. And today we're doing A Quiet Place. I love this movie so much. What are you giggling about? That's like our whole,
I'm gonna say A Quiet Place. You love this movie. You chose it. I watched it when it came out, and then I watched it again. Great movie.
It's fantastic. I love it.
I enjoyed it very much.
Do you want?
I have certain problems
with the premise of it, or I had a couple issues myself.
It's your movie.
Okay, so this movie is about the Abbott family. It is a mother, father, a little boy, little girl, and another young child boy. And these aliens show up. We don't know when they show up. According to this movie, they're just there. We're like 85 days into this craziness when the movie opens. And so we follow this family, and we know that the aliens hunt by sound. They have crazy hearing, unlike myself. And they can hear anything, and then they run to it and eat whatever it is, or they check it out, kill everybody. So we're following the Abbott family, and they have kind of figured out how they're doing things. Like they've got their little routine to almost like a science of how to live and survive with these weird monsters. So they go to the store, the abandoned store, because it's an apocalypse.
Yeah. They have kids though, so kids ruin everything. And
as they do.
Their kids are kids. They don't understand the severity of the situation. So it opens with a rather brutal scene of one of the kids being taken by these monsters.
Yes.
But because he was given a toy by his older sister as like a loving thing, like kids just don't get it. Yes. Also, she's deaf. Yes. So maybe she couldn't hear how loud it was.
Well, no, because they took the batteries out and put it on the side. And they were like, she was like, here, you can have the toy, and maybe you can just pretend to fly the rocket. But they made sure to take the batteries out. But him being a little young child was like, I'm going to do what I want, grabs them and sticks the batteries in it. And then on the way walking, turns it on, and it's like, woo, 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 all loud. And so everybody turns around. They're like, "Oh my God!" John Krasinski runs. I don't even know his name in the movie. Runs to help him, or to get him, or to get the toy away. And it's too late. The monster has taken the child, and he's gone. It's gone. Yeah. So it's a very heartbreaking beginning of the movie. And so now it's the mom, the dad, and the older sister who is deaf, and in real life is deaf as well. John Krasinski made sure that he did in fact get a girl with hearing loss as the actress. He really lobbied for that. Also, they made sure everyone on set learned sign language. So they had a person who teaches people how to sign.
The worst thing is the wife is pregnant. Okay, this is like not the time to get pregnant. Like
later she becomes pregnant.
She's already. Oh, so it's only 85 days, correct?
To start, so and then it's like 200 days later. Then she's pregnant. So she's not pregnant at the beginning of the film.
So why did she get pregnant? Like this is the time to do pull-outs.
Really? Pull out do method. They have birth control? I mean, come on.
Pull out withdrawal method. Okay, come on.
Well, that's not foolproof.
She is smart enough. She could have been tracking her ovulation. She's smart enough to do all the blood pressure and the heartbeat and everything like that. She's smart enough to have known how to track her ovulation. Either way, yes, you're saying shit happens, but the worst time to be pregnant.
But also, maybe they did it. Maybe they did it on purpose. Like, let's be honest.
That's what I thought. Maybe they were trying to repopulate. But
not just repopulate, but they lost a child. So maybe they were trying to.
Oh, I thought she was already pregnant.
At the beginning.
It says that it's 200 days later. Oh,
it goes 85 days, and then it's like 200 and something days later. So it goes fast forward in time, like a year.
She probably
or something.
They had sad sex and got a baby out of it. That's how it works. And but I would just fear like giving birth, the baby's gonna cry. But like you're saying, they're great planners. They have it pretty much all covered, except she ends up, going into labor with one of these Demogorgon looking things.
I love this. This is like the most badass scene on the play. She's like the best lead character.
Well, doesn't she step on the nail and then give
so
birth?
what ends up happening is the daughter, she's a teenager and a pain in the ass, as teenagers are. And she ends up
storming out.
So she ends up like
running
she
off.
wants to go with her dad, and because she blames herself and she thinks everyone else blames her for her younger brother dying. And so the dad takes the son because he's a scaredy cat. He's scared of everything. He's scared of these things. And he's like, no, I'm going to show you what you should and shouldn't be scared of. So let's go and I'll show you. And so he's like, no, I'll take you next time. And he takes the boy. And then the girl runs off because she's a stupid teenager. And she goes to where the little boy died. And they have like a cross and they have his pictures. And so she goes and like, that's where she like meditates or whatever. So the dad takes the boy to a waterfall and they sit behind the waterfall and it's very loud. And so he explains to him like, because the kid's freaking out. He's like, you're talking. Oh my God, you're talking. Stop. No, just be quiet. And he's like, no, if there is a sound that's louder, then you're safe. If there is a louder sound, like the waterfall is
to drown you out.
To drown you out, you're safe. Like you're okay. And so he's like, oh, okay, And then so then the mom's doing laundry or whatever. And so she goes down these rickety stairs. They have this weird compound. So she goes down these rickety ass stairs and somehow gets like either the basket or clothes or something gets caught on this nail that's like this, and then it ends up going peek. Or she's going back up the stairs.
It's a laundry bag. No, is it food?
No, it's laundry. She's doing laundry.
Oh, okay.
Doing old school laundry, like by hand.
On. Yeah, but then they leave the water on. Like there's so many problems.
There's a lot of
I guess she was distracted by giving birth. but when the guy came home, when he finally does, did he not think to turn the water off? I mean, he's in there.
I don't think he noticed. There's a lot of craziness going on. So they end up going, so she goes back upstairs and then, whatever. She goes and she sits in her son's room and she cries. And then something happens and she's like, okay, I need to go back downstairs. So she goes back down. Oh, she went to go get the lunch. She goes back downstairs and then steps like fully on this nail. And first of all, that's horrifying because I know what it's like to step on stuff. And so she's up and she doesn't make a sound. She like screams into her hand silently, but she ends up dropping stuff. So she knows she's made sounds. These aliens are going to be coming in like seconds. So she has to figure out what to do. And so they show up and she's like cowering away and she's like, oh my God, what do I do? And then actually ends up starting to go into labor as well. And she has a kitchen timer. So
that's how life works.
That's how life works. And so she puts the kitchen timer on the water heater or whatever for to distract the thing. I was like, why'd you put a kitchen timer? Like in my head, I'm like, so stupid. So then, so she ends up going upstairs. She flips the switches. So they have a special, because, they're planners, obviously. It goes from all the white lights,
months to plan
to red lights, right? Months and months. Switch to red lights, which is like, shit's happening. If you're not here, you need to see these lights and then go set off some rockets or whatever. And because that was their plan. Is the
it probably means like the aliens are in there or something, so they don't come home blindly.
Well,
and, like,
I think I don't know. I kind of feel like it may have meant like that she was going into labor.
Well, yeah, I think both. Yeah.
Because so then they knew to shoot rockets off to distract and have them go over that way. And so they do that. So the little boy and the dad come back and the dad tells him, because she's like, I'm going to go check on her. You have to go set off the rockets. And the kid's like, are you high? Like that? It's too much.
Little boy.
I'm a little boy. This is too much. I can't survive
real fast.
Real quick. So kid runs off to find the rockets, ends up running to his sister. They run into aliens. They have to escape. Dad goes to whatever. And so they're all in the corn. And so the fireworks finally go off. And that's when mom, who's already in the bathtub, screams because she can finally let it go, let it out, and then she has the
Yeah.
baby. It's like the most traumatizing experience.
I know.
I would have died. So then
Yeah, you
dad
don't have a
comes home
choice,
and
though.
sees there's blood everywhere. And he's like, oh my God,
she's
the
dead.
aliens must have, he thinks she's dead. The aliens got them. And then she lets
In
him
her
know
hand.
that she
She does the
she's
Titanic
alive.
hand
She
on
has
the
your favorite.
You know
And
what
so-
I meant.
I know exactly what you're. I'm putting a picture of that.
You know what
With the
I
steam.
meant. Yeah.
With the
It's like,
steam,
who
yes.
does that? Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Kate Winslet does that. Apparently, it's that
Yes, of
good.
course.
Leo, good job.
Li-
So
Definitely.
then, I just love this movie so much. I have a lot of small issues with it
No, like that.
because
Like how he sacrifices
right?
himself, but then he leaves her alone. Like, to me, he shouldn't have done that. That's the weakest way out. Then she's alone with 2 kids and a newborn. Like, what? Keep fighting. What's like?
Right.
I don't know. I hate that whole
So
part.
she goes downstairs and they have this soundproof
Oh yeah, their whole
death trap set up for the baby. And it has oxygen tank in there, so that way the baby still gets oxygen, and so it's not suffocating. But it's a soundproof thing to keep the baby safe. So she sleeps it off for like a hot second, and then she wakes up and she's like, "Oh my God, it works!" So he sees on the monitors that they have where his kids are. So they're in a what is that, a grain silo?
Yeah.
So they have fallen through a grain silo, and there's a monster trying to kill them.
And the
And
kids, like,
so
singing.
they're like in quicksand in the grain silo, and they're saving each other.
They get out though.
They do. Eventually they get out, and then the dad comes and finds them, and he saves them, and they run to a truck. And okay, you could have just distracted by shooting your gun, right? Like, you didn't have to die.
What does he do? Just like, whatever. I hate that. I think he just wanted to die. Like how I always say, if a zombie apocalypse happened where I just become a zombie immediately, like not try and survive, I would just like die. He did that. I think he was like, I'm over this.
He tells the daughter in sign language, "I've always loved you," and then he gets eaten by this thing. And I was so mad at that part. I was like, "Are you kidding? Did you
it's
really
like,
need
cool. Now I could just survive by myself with these little shit kids."
Off, yeah. I was so mad. I was like, I don't feel that you needed to die, but okay, cool, thank you. Then obviously they're not out of the woods yet, because the kids have to go back to the house, and then the monsters follow them. But then the girl figures out that her hearing aid that her dad tried to fix and couldn't fix, he did something to it to where now when they come, because of their sonic hearing or whatever, it does something to hers, and then it amplifies that, because they do something to electricity when they're around things. You can tell because the lights flicker and whatever, and then
so it hurts them enough.
And so her sonic ear now, who sends off this super high pitch, nobody can hear it, dog whistle, and it paralyzes them.
So she could have done that, and the dad wouldn't have died.
If they
like they could have done that from the beginning, and then the dad would die.
If they had figured out,
he just wanted to die.
Dog whistle,
he was over it.
Would have
wanted to die.
Maybe they should all stock up on dog whistles.
Something like that. I would probably hear that. Nino says I have dog hearing because I think everything is wrong.
She amplifies the hearing aid with the mic, and then it disables the monster, and then the mom can shoot it because the metal or the armor is now off, as in your picture behind you. It is now open because that's their armor. You couldn't kill it because it had its armor on, but its weakness is sound. So it opens to listen, and then that's when you can kill them. And then that's like legit where the movie ends.
Yeah, I didn't see
I do. Yeah, I did. I watched it, and it made me hate the kids even more.
They suck.
They suck hard. They really do. And I'm like, first of all, I already know for a fact my family would not survive this. I can be quiet. I can be stealth-like. Maddie and Josh are loud as fuck.
Yeah, me too.
They're just like, Maddie drops
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
literally for no reason.
I can be like, I know how to walk quiet.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I can be very, very quiet. People don't even know I usually scare people because like they're like, well, how long have you been there? And I'm like, 5 minutes. You know, I walk quiet, lived in
Mhm.
apartments, you know, I know how to be courteous to other people and be quiet. But
Mhm.
yeah, not everyone can do that. But like I said, I would just give up. It sounds like a miserable world to live in. I just would have died. Like I would have just screamed, and then died.
Well, then what other problems did you have with this movie?
Just that I think one that she gets pregnant, that was my problem, and two that then the dad kills himself. You know,
Mine
sacrifices
is the dad dies, yes. And then
himself,
two
whatever
is
you
just like
call it.
other little
Yeah.
things. Is I'm less like, okay, so you have this little compound and you have found out that you put sand, like beach sand. Where did you get the beach sand? But you put beach sand on your little path, makes it quieter
Yeah.
because you're not rustling leaves and stuff. Okay, first of all, where did you get the sand? Second of all,
Well, yeah, where does it say they are? They could be somewhere in here.
I don't know where they are. I
Wouldn't
really
you
don't.
just live by
It,
the waterfall? I
it
feel like I would
talks
just build a little
about
house by
it.
like a waterfall or the
It
ocean.
talks,
I would
yeah, it talks
go
about it
somewhere.
in the second one,
Live.
like more where they are.
Oh.
Because
Go
then they have
by
to
that.
they find a boat or something.
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah,
I liked it, but like I wouldn't watch the second one. I
it
think I'm
wasn't
good.
bad. It was literally a continuation. It wasn't like 5 years
Yeah.
later, but it starts off with explaining
okay.
the first day of how they came. And so in my head, I was like, oh, is it a prequel? And it's not. It literally just explains like the beginning, like day one when it happened. And then it goes into where it literally left off from the last movie.
That's interesting then to like
So
get
it
some backstory.
so
I
I
guess.
do think
But
it's kind of cool that it goes, it's not like, oh, 10 years later or 5 years later. And it's
yeah,
like the movie didn't stop.
got
And
it.
so I thought that was cool. And it has the guy from Peaky Blinders in it. But like
Cillian Murphy or Cillian that guy?
the main character, yeah.
Oh, he's cute. I'll watch it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's in it. But it's just, I think that the kids make so many stupid mistakes and the kids think they're badass.
Yeah.
I'm like, you will never be as badass as your mother to give birth
Yeah.
while
No.
aliens are there in silence. Like,
She should
no, you're
no
just,
thanks.
no.
I did have a beef. Okay, so you know when they put their baby in that thing with the oxygen tank, the soundproof,
Yeah. Mhm.
does the alien knock off the top or what happened? All of a sudden the top is off. You know when she wakes up in the water, but the water is not all the way up. So do you
It's
think that
rising.
alien like knocked it off? Yeah, but how did the top come off of the baby's exposed? That's why she's like, oh no, it's gonna cry because the top is now off.
I don't
You know,
remember.
so you don't think the baby would have cried when the alien like tipped off the thing? Like that
I think she
was my
went to
beef with it.
go because okay, so the it's rising and the water's rising. I don't know why
Yeah.
there's that much water.
Yeah.
It would take like way longer for that to happen.
I know.
But there's like all this rising water,
Yeah.
and then the mom is like, "Oh shit!" And so the alien goes underwater. And so I was like, oh, okay. But so she takes the baby out and is hoping the baby's not
but
going to
before
cry.
like
I don't know. Was it
she
open?
wakes up, she looks over and it's open, the top's off. Yeah, and I thought
I don't remember that.
but I think maybe like the alien was ruffling stuff, you know, did it?
Maybe,
or I don't
probably.
know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know that it went under the water to find them, which kind of then confuses me because in part two, they find out that the aliens can't swim.
Oh. Yeah,
They
but he's
drown.
walking in the basement of the water.
Maybe because
yeah,
they find out it drowns and then they end up getting to some island where there's people and they're loud and they're real, like they're like normal people. And the guy is like, I don't understand. He goes, we found out like a long time ago the aliens can't swim, so we brought people over here, and then accidentally one boat because of the guy ends up getting there and kills a bunch of people. But they find out that that's how they can survive, is they're on an island in the middle of water, and the aliens can jump far but they cannot swim. So that's interesting.
Oh, maybe I'll watch the second one.
Do you have any facts?
Maybe. I mean, you just spoiled all of it for me, so
I did.
no.
Also, John Krasinski is actually in this. He's the monster.
What?
He's in the CGI suit in a lot of the movie.
Oh,
Doing the motions and stuff. I actually really like it because I think Emily Blunt is like so hardcore in this. Like she's not like
great.
she's not like I'm saving the world. She's not like Laura Croft in that way, but to have to deal with that and that character,
it's a very powerful female character. Yeah,
so powerful. Like I'm just like
powerful character in general, but especially because she's a female, she gives birth. Men can't do that,
right.
So very powerful. No, I think it's great. It's a great movie. I enjoy it very much. Not one of my favorites, which is just not my genre of horror that I prefer, but rewatching
slashers.
Yeah,
you like the slashers. I like all of them.
Called Scream. I just like to bother you.
How did I know you were gonna say that? Okay, let's do hearing aids then.
Okay.
Since that's an integral part.
I think you're gonna give it a 5 or a 4.5.
I'm giving it a 5. I am. Yes.
Oh wow.
I am. I don't know how much John Krasinski has directed before this. Did he do Jack Ryan? I don't know. But
I don't know.
I think he did amazingly. I think it's just other than the fact that the dad dies, which I don't think is necessary.
Yeah.
But whatever.
The easy way out. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to compare it to Scream or other slasher movies. That's comparing apples to oranges. It's not fair. Exactly. I hate when people try and do that. So I'll give it a 4. Very strong movie. Very good. Like enjoyable from start to finish. I think it's a great movie.
I wouldn't give the sequel that. I would go 3 for the sequel. But I'm just saying, I hate those kids. So follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And share us with your friends. Give us comments and stuff. Did you like this episode? I like this show. Did you like this movie? I like this movie. And then until next time, bye. This shirt makes my boobs look so big.
They are big. That's like what I say to mine, and then I realize they're just really big.
Well, whatever.
Walking around like a circus freak.
You are a circus freak.